But I will remove far off from you the northern army, the United States military, the majority of which is going to be in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, the Middle East, mainly Saudi Arabia, with his face toward the East Sea. And when we go to a map of the Middle East, you've got Saudi Arabia right here, the Persian Gulf to the east, you've got the Euphrates River to the northeast, and what's above the Persian Gulf? Iran. And you've got the Strait of Hormuz right here. And his hinder part toward the utmost sea, his hinder part, or behind him, the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things, all these dead bodies from this coming mass slaughter.
Staunch conservatives, I talk to them, no one wants this war with Iran. It is simply Congress and the executive branch, the legislative branch and the executive branch, because they're in with the military-industrial complex. They're in with the big, the oil companies. They're in with all of this, and they're the only ones that want this war. There are very, very few Americans who actually want this. But he goes on.
This is not an endless war. This is a provocative regime that's dismembered the Mideast, that shoots his own people down in the streets, that threatens the existence of the state of Israel. This is an enemy of mankind, and if you're not willing to take this enemy on, you'll regret it, because you're going to put all the pressure on Israel.
Okay, so there you go.
That's it with this video. But as you brothers can see, none of these prophecies are failing to come to pass. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is putting the spirit on those imposter Israelis to provoke war with Iran, to drag all you nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat for judgment. This is Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, and we're living in this time right now, the last seconds of the last days, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah, the southern kingdom, or the so-called Negroes, and Jerusalem, the northern kingdom, or the so-called Latinos and Native Americans. The elect of both tribes are waking up to the fact that they're Israelites and coming back to their power. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations, the state of Israel, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, etc., and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, that Middle Eastern region. And Jehoshaphat means Yahweh's Shaphat, or Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is judging you, heathen nations, for all the iniquity you've committed against his people, not just in the past, but up until today, chiefly you Edomites, or so-called white people. You can go to Psalm chapter 83 to see the table of heathen nations who are confederate against us and parted my land, which you can also see. You've got those Amalekite Edomites in the land, as well as those Ishmaelite Palestinians, or so-called Arabs. And when you go to the word plead in the Strongs, it's
Strong's H 8199. Shaphat.
Shaphat. To judge, govern, vindicate, punish. So Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is not coming to you heathens with a bouquet of roses to let his people go. He's coming to you with that righteous, painful, vengeful, violent indignation to punish you for, again, all the iniquity you've committed against the apple of his eye, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the past, all the way up until today. So as you brothers can see, our salvation is nearer than what we believed. Any day now, all hell's going to break loose, and we're going to be knee-deep in Jacob's trouble. So you should have all 10 toes down in this truth to make your calling and election sure, and make sure you have that covering protection of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua over you during these terrible times of Jacob's trouble. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala. Till next time, Shalom.